Team USA. It's 87 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Let's talk about Ross Matisic, the Jaguars' long snapper, who just got a new deal, at least an extension, I should say. 2-year extension worth $3.8 million for the 2 years. So he was making $1.267. That's right, RJ.
Okay.
And now he'll be making $1.9 million per year.
Good for him.
But it still feels like that's nothing in comparison to what some of his teammates make.
No, and
Josh
even compared to
Trevor.
the punter. I mean, if you look at Logan.
Even Logan Cook.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're snapping the football. I mean, it's an important job. It's very important. And he does a lot more than that. I mean, that's one thing about Ross. Man. That's why
physical.
he's all pro every year, first team, because he runs down faster than anybody and is in on most of the tackles, especially on punt. Or on punt. But yeah.
Him and Logan will fight people too. We talk about
I'll kill you, man. They're both like gangsters. You don't want both of them teaming up on you. And Logan's a little taller, so he gets you high and Ross gets you low, and you're in big trouble. Man.
Ross can deliver a big.
I'm sure
he's thick. He's a thick guy.
But it's also exciting too. They're about to welcome their first child, and so it's
awesome.
good timing for him.
That's a ton of money.
It is in theory, but it just seems like with the salary cap as high as it is, an all-pro and/or Pro Bowl long snapper, it would be even more than that.
Yeah, I agree.
We're the highest long snapper in the league, so that's telling you something. You're you're deserving that.
The highest, so the market is what the market is, right?
I know.
It's crazy.
Right.
We talk about the tight ends and what they don't get paid for what they have to do compared to, like even a receiver. Sometimes you have tight ends that are having to do that plus block all the time, and they don't get paid nearly as what some of the wide receivers are. So they're like, hey, but congrats to him because we talk about it. He's the special teams in general, but him and Logan have been so consistent here, and that you never feel like you have to worry. And not that most teams are probably worrying about their long snapper, but there has been moments where you're like, wow, there's been big moments from Logan and Ross where they've changed games in certain ways, and not every team is even close to talking about that when it comes to their punters and long snappers.
Well, I mean, look, there's sometimes if your back is against the wall and you don't have that normal distance from punter to long snapper, that snap's got to be perfectly timed. Got to come back, flying in there and in the right spot so the punter can take one step and boom. You know what I mean? There are, those long field goals. He's got to get it there in the perfect spot. There can't be juggling because there's no time to wait. You got to get that ball out quick, or it's going to get blocked.
And wind and rain, and people are coming for your head at that point in time.
Yeah.
Hey, Devon Hamilton could
I was
do
about
it,
to say,
so.
Devon could do it. But
they do protect those guys. I mean, back when I was playing, you used to be able to murder them. I mean, that was poor. And I was one of those guys. I was on the nose. No, the long snappers. I mean, because they, they're in a terrible position.
Yeah.
They're like heads through their legs, and you're running at, just knocking them over full, and then laying on them, so they can't go anywhere. And
punters used to be able to get destroyed too.
Brutalized. Yeah, true.
Then you saw broken legs, and the NFL said, let's
not do that.
Change those rules.
Yeah, no doubt. But no, really important. Look, those three in the special teams, is obviously one of the three phases. But the punter, the kicker, and the long snapper. I mean, if to have the guys we have, the top notch, at their field is huge. It is really important to have all three. You got to have all three.
And we talk about it here so much because we watch them week in and week out and through camps, and we've talked to them, and they're all very personable guys too. But the league recognizes them. That's the thing. They're all pros. They're all Pro Bowls. They're talking about in the category of when you see any rankings, they're always in the top, if not the top of those rankings. So it's not just like a Jacksonville thing. The league has all recognized that they're some of the top players on the special team side of the ball.
And Logan holds, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's even that's even more. That those three are always together.
They are.
They hang out.
That's because I feel like the other guys on the team are like, you're just special teams. No matter
you
how
barely
much
had to practice today.
Right. You guys are inside while we're out here for a couple hours, like working really hard. You guys don't have to work that hard.
Well, I think the thing you get most jealous about is their meetings are over like in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They're done with meetings. I remember Hollis and Barker, they had these remote control cars, that they'd have a little, little pad that they not like today, but we could running around and they'd race each other, and we'd be in meetings, but their meetings were over. I mean, how many times can you watch kicking field goals?
Yeah.
You know,
That snap.
you know,
You just
or
gotta go
the
practice.
snap. Like,
I'm waiting
okay,
for Scobie to call us right now.
Got it,
By the way-
coach. It was in the wrong spot. I'll get it up next time. You know what I mean? Like, as far as critiquing your snap, like, how much can you do?
I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah. there you
As
go.
far as we also have really good special teams coaches here in
Oh, yeah.
Jacksonville
Yeah,
too,
he's
and then
Retained for a reason.
there
yeah.
was a time, by the way, that Logan Cook, some people talked about being the best player on the
The
53-man roster.
Yeah.
Like, who's the best Jaguars player? It's Logan Cook.
Yeah.
My goodness, how far we've come.
for sure.
Well, listen, I mean,
That wasn't that long ago. We were having
No.
that conversation.
he was great inside the 10 and 20, and he could flip the field
Mhm.
and hit that field position.
And still can, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And that,
But the
as
talent
you know,
around
that,
him has risen.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. But he's the guy you want in there first. He's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
love
moment
him.
he
I love
pins it
his
on the
attitude.
corner at the goal line, and you're like, that was beautiful. Like, you
Yeah.
couldn't have placed that any perfectly. And we saw that last year several times, and in moments you need it. And that's what I think punters have in the last few years gotten recognized a little bit more, I think. I think some of it is we've seen that some of them get drafted, like a Torrey Taylor getting drafted pretty high, and some of those guys. So obviously you're getting recognized a little bit more, but you realize how important it is to flip that field and how important it is in moments where you're just like, granted, sometimes they've also then allowed 99-yard drives down the field, and you don't want that to happen, but they're doing their job. They're placing it as far as possible from the goal line.
Right. And look, they're all three are very important jobs to the health of the team, right? I mean, you got to have a clutch kicker. Got it.
Yeah.
Game on the line, on the road, conditions, does not matter.
And that's why the Jaguars ended up moving on from Riley Patterson, who made that one clutch field goal against the Chargers, and that was fantastic.
Right. Yep.
But his kickoffs weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, obviously,
Especially now.
Yeah,
Cam
now,
Little
yeah.
in his talented arsenal of a leg is so incredibly
Right.
important and fun to watch, too. To have we always talk about it was the Raiders game where the Jaguars just didn't have it that day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Right before half.
Yeah, right before half with that momentum that he was able to make
It was
that
like they won the
68-yarder.
Super Bowl. Remember the
know.
picture with Liam, like
Yes.
giving him a hug?
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
They had the picture of him. He's like, totally like, this is so excited. But hey, it was a momentum changer, no doubt. That long field goal, man, that got everyone jacked up right before half.
I actually saw a stat earlier. So the NFL's new kickoff rules last year saw a kick return rate of 74.5% last year, and that was up from 32.8 the year before.
Okay.
So big return rate that we've seen.
Yeah. I wonder how many concussions, because that's the whole thing.
That was
about-
their like safety thing for
right,
it. Yeah.
From it being, because they're still knocking each other. I mean, they're killing each
Yeah.
other. It's not like the hits have gotten any, weaker.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're going full speed for 20 yards. Like,
Yeah.
You're trying to deplete the guy.
You just
And it
can't
happened.
move until the ball's
Right.
in the hands. So
Yeah.
they were hoping. So I don't know. I'd have to look more into that and see if that decreased because they said that was their main reasoning. We always felt like it was maybe some of that, but also they wanted to see more explosiveness and scoring and stuff during like that in that because in any sport, it now feels like people just want scores and they want
Yeah.
you to score a lot of points.
Yeah, it feels like a rugby scrum almost today. The kickoff and the kickoff return. That used to be, I mean, it's still an exciting play, but that used to be, think about that. Returning a kickoff for a touchdown just totally changes everything. You know what I mean?
That's why Devin Hester's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
One day they're going to have flags on the field on those guys on special teams.
Yeah.
They'll still play the regular part of football. The offense and defense will be normal, but at some point they're going to get to a point where they say this is
Because
not
of the hits?
Yeah,
I mean, you hit hard in the field.
you do, but
I mean, guys get hit all the time.
those collisions sometimes
What do you do with
somehow
wide
seem to be
receivers
worse.
and
I know.
DBs
Hey,
and-
one day maybe they'll all have flags
They'll
at this
all
point in
have
time.
flags.
everybody.
we don't
You
have to worry
never
about
know.
that now.
You know what? You never know.
When I was younger, my dad used to say that. Like, eventually this
Yeah.
game will change, but we have seen rules and
What if the valuation of their franchises
Oh,
will go
absolutely.
way down? And I
Yeah.
don't think so. That's not changing.
yeah.
Well, we
exactly.
saw that changes
It'll
the
never
whole
change.
game because I feel like we just saw back in with the Pro Bowl and all of the games, the flag football game. It wasn't the football players winning that; it was the flag football players winning that. So all of a
Right.
sudden, your
Different
stars
game.
aren't stars anymore if it's
Yeah.
flag football.
Yeah, you're
It
right.
changes.
Yeah.
It's different type of
Although
athlete. That's
I don't
really
think
good.
they had a lot of preparation, did they? The pros when they went against those
No,
guys?
it's just they were just getting beat because that's like it's a different type
It's
of
a different game.
yeah.
Probably gave
But I
you
mean, I
used to
guess you
some of
just
that.
shift to not saying because some of the
You
best
wouldn't lift as
athletes,
much.
yeah, you wouldn't have to
You
because
wouldn't
you're not
do
worrying
the-
about the
Yeah,
hits
right.
and the
Yeah,
strength
right. You don't
of
have to be
things.
strong.
Yeah.
You got to be quick. and
Right.
Fast.
It's kind of like what we talk about with soccer. It's a
Yeah.
completely different type of athlete. All right, I want to talk about X factors. We have a list of X factors for every AFC team, but I want to ask y'all, who you think your X factor is for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Does not have to match what Mr. Ben Arthur believes of Fox Sports for the NFL. But we're going to talk about that when we return. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Looking for the win. Scobie sweeps the legs. 59 yards away. He's got it. Jacksonville wins.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
ET here for Encore Research. What if the next medical breakthrough started with you? Clinical research volunteers play a vital role in helping doctors better understand diseases and develop future treatments. This summer, discover how participating in a clinical research study can advance medical breakthroughs while empowering you to take an active role in your own healthcare journey. Are you ready to learn? Check them out at EncoreDocs.com. Together, we're building a healthier future for Jacksonville.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Some say it's the toughest test in golf.
Take your shot at the U.S. Open with 1010XL's You Pick'em contest. You could win $1,000 of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
Nailed down by
Endless Summer Roofing. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, it's Greg. Working at 1010XL, you can't escape the Awaken 180 stories. Hacker, Dempsey, Matt Hayes, even Frank. I saw it and I believed him. I just didn't believe in me. Would I be able to stick with it? Well, 6 weeks in, 25 pounds down, halfway to my goal. And the thing nobody told me, really, sticking with it's the easy part. I'm eating to lose weight. I swear I eat more now than I did before. Just the right foods for me. No crash diet, no medications, no shots, and working out at the gym's not even required. It's a combination of one-on-one coaching, nutrition, and science, and the scale drops every week. I feel better, sleep better, even stand up faster. I feel it in my joints, and I can see it in the mirror now. Kinda mad I waited years to do this. So if you've got weight to lose safely, quickly, and for good, schedule a free consultation with Awaken 180. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Tom McManus here for the Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here. Don't wait for the first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to backyards. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Grab the matches, start a fire. Throw the members in flames, it's behind us.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. I have a quick driving question and then we'll get to X Factors. If someone pulls out in front of you and you have to brake, do you honk at the person in front of you?
Depends.
Sometime, yeah.
Depends if they're going to hit me or not.
Okay.
If they're not going to hit me, no.
Well, so they pull out in front of you, so you would hit them.
Well, I know if we're not going to collide, then no,
But
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't honk even if you had to slam on your brakes.
Am I slamming on my brake? Like, because that's avoiding a hit, I would imagine. Did you have to slam on your
I
brakes?
didn't have to slam on my brakes, and I didn't honk. But I was really annoyed because then the person went the exact speed limit. And I was like, why did you pull out in front of me? Because clearly you're not in a hurry.
Yeah.
Right? And I wasn't in a hurry, but I was just, that stuff annoys me. And so then I'm chastising myself because I feel like then I should have honked once I realized they weren't going to go the exact speed limit.
You know, I don't know about you guys. I've been feeling this for a while, that around the beaches anyway, I feel like a lot of people don't know the rules of driving. I mean, it's just crazy. Some of the things they're doing and not doing, and you're like, do you not know the rules of the road?
Right.
It just seems
like,
weird.
Just because you put your turn signal on doesn't mean you automatically get to go over in the next lane. You have to merge with traffic, and if you don't get to turn at your exact turn, I'm so sorry. Just take a U-turn.
I got one for you because I actually, when I was on the phone with the friend I was on the phone with, I asked him the question. I said, "All right, I'm making a right turn. Across from me is a guy trying to make a left turn. Who has the right of way first?"
The right turn.
Correct.
Yeah.
He's standing like looking at me like he's got it. I'm like, how do you not know that I've got the right of way?
Yes.
You have to yield. You know what yield means?
Yeah.
You have to yield.
People don't know what yield means.
No, they don't. That's
and they also
probably
don't know
the
what
problem.
merge means and all that stuff.
They also don't know how to use a roundabout. That drives me insane too, where it's like, I think you all need to go back, not all of you, but a lot of you need to go back to driving school and remember some things, because I truly think that.
Google it.
I don't think roundabouts existed when a lot of people took the driving
I'm like,
test.
maybe you need to relearn what exactly how this works.
Let me explain to people. If you're heading to a roundabout and there's a vehicle on your left, they have the right of way.
Yeah, you yield.
The vehicle on your right has to wait for you. But if there's a vehicle on your left, you wait for them to come in the little circle and decide. But you can't just go just because you feel like going. That's not how
That's
it
how
works.
people drive.
Yeah.
They want to, they do it.
But
They need to bring that back into high school. where you had to take.
Agreed. That's how I took it. I took it over summer at Fletcher High School.
Yeah.
I like to honk because that for me is communicating to someone like you did something wrong. But what's always hilarious is when that person honks back at you and you're like, you were the one in the wrong.
Yeah.
But you can't nowadays like roll your window down and say stuff.
Oh no.
Don't
People
do
are
that.
crazy out there.
Yeah, it's not worth the road.
No,
it's not
definitely not worth it. Okay, X Factors.
All right, moving on.
That's
Make
right.
sure you
So-
turn your signals on, though, out there. Would you
Please communicate. All right, so Tom, I'll start with you. Who do you think the Jaguars' X factor for this season will be? And if you want to give me offense and defense, that's perfectly fine.
Well, first of all, I think to me the first one is obvious. So let's just get him out of the way.
Travis Hunter.
I mean, he's got to come through.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, he's got to be the guy that they drafted him to be.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, both sides, one side, defense. I don't care, but he's got to be that guy.
I think that's the most obvious answer as
That's
well.
an obvious
So now I'll tell you, Ben Arthur.
It's funny because that one didn't even come in my head.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because when I was thinking it, my mind was, I don't think they'll be good if this person doesn't. And I watched them be good without him last year. So it was, for me, I was kind of like, they were still trying to figure it out in the first half, and then he got hurt. I would love him to. I think in the sense of proving that what you did in trading up and drafting him in the way that you did is very important. Yeah, but I don't know if right now, like, the team is losing or winning if he's playing as high as we want. That's where my mind went with it, but I totally get the other side. I just didn't think of it that way.
Sure. So I'll tell you, Ben Arthur, who writes for Fox Sports for the NFL, he picked Brian Thomas Jr.
Mm-hmm.
So, Taylor, now I'll ask you, but I just want to let people know who he decided. But who did you come up with?
Yeah, so mine honestly went to, and I guess it's more of a to be determined, but I went with the running back. So in my head, I put Bashal Tutin on this because I do think that we've talked about that number, the touchdown number alone, and I went back and I was looking at a lot of the games, and there's several games you wouldn't have won if it wasn't for the rushing touchdowns or whatever, passing touchdowns, the combined touchdowns by Travis Etienne. And so you're replacing such a large amount of touchdowns and yardage with one player. And I get it. It may look a little different. And that's why it's kind of hard to pick one in this, because it may be a little bit more by committee at certain times and not just so heavily leaned on to one running back. So maybe it's like
had 3 receiving touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, yeah. And so let's say you split that and it's more so you get 10 between the 2 running backs. And so maybe it looks more like that. But I do think the run game as a whole, and if you want it to be Bashal Tutin, I think a lot of people kind of hope that's it because you have seen little flashes of what he could be. I think the run game is just something to me that is an X factor. I don't know if you're going to get through another season and win 13 games if you're not able to fix some of those things. And there are other factors, obviously, the run blocking and things like that they feel like they've addressed too, the schematic side of things. But I think teams will very easily this year be like, okay, well, they struggled last year against the run. Here's what teams did to beat them because they couldn't run the ball in these certain situations. So just force Trevor to throw and have him make some mistakes. And you don't want it to get to that. You want to be able to have that balanced offense. There was too many times to me to where if the run stopped working last year, they just abandoned it. And then you would kind of get into these moments where the team would come back and it'd be close games like against Oakland and Arizona. If you want to win the amount of football games and win a playoff game this year, I think the run game to me is one of the most important things that has to get better.
And maybe it's Rodriguez Jr.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to pick which one right now.
Maybe it's the
Vegas.
pounder.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
The
what'd I say?
Oakland.
Oh, yeah. Oakland. That's how far I went back.
Exactly. I was like, when you first said Oakland, I was like, why does that ring a bell? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the team used to be.
Look, with Travis, it's more defense. Like, if he could be that corner, I mean, that just makes our D that much better.
And that could be more
championship.
Absolutely. That could be lead to wins if you have a true lockdown corner when you're facing some elite receivers this year, like a Jamar Chase.
On offense, they showed they can score a ton without him, obviously. But the defense could show that he's a serious upgrade, if he could be one of your cornerbacks. So
of the practices you went to, Tom, he was in a receiver jersey for all of them. He was working with the DBs in one of the ones that we went to. Yeah. But I found that interesting, almost as if the Jaguars were just like,
we're going to mess with you guys.
Yeah. For all of you that said this whole offseason that he's going to play corner only, we're going to have him in
only in wide receiver when you're seeing.
Right.
Receiver jersey.
Yeah, they're battling the conjecture that was out there, right, Sal? But yeah, wondering what he's going to do, guessing what he's going to do. So, look, again, we just want him to be healthy and be the kind of player that they expect him to be and that he got drafted to be. And I think if he can stay healthy, he's gonna. Yeah. He put in the time. You can tell he's been working out. He looks good. I mean, he looks in shape as far as he can be. He's bouncing around. He floats on the air on the earth anyway, the way he walks around. But
Liam said he ran 22.6 miles per hour recently.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him straight ahead with the knee. It's always that reactionary, cutting and shifting and all that to make sure that it's good. But I'm sure he'll be ready to rock and roll and be huge. As plan B or another guy that I think Jacoby, just for the mere fact of how he came in and settled the room last year, that he'll do it again. I don't know if it's an X factor as far as he's just going to, although I do think he's going to have a very good productive year. It'll be interesting how they spread it out and who becomes that. If there is a true number one, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I think you could say Parker was at the end of last year, the go-to guy. But if Jacoby could come in with that professionalism, which he will, I mean, he came in mid-year. Think about that. He's got all off season.
Felt like he fit right in.
And he fit right in. I'll give him some time. He can mentally, physically, emotionally, he could have that receiver room. And who's to say he hasn't been working on Brian Thomas? You know what I mean? As far as getting his psyche and, hey, man, look, you're a great young player. Come on, you got so much going for you. Let's go.
Jacoby Myers recently said, it was last week, he said Brian Thomas Jr. is unstoppable if he's not having a good day, right? It's hard to cover someone like him. So I do think that, yes, his presence in that room has drastically helped, not just Brian Thomas Jr., obviously.
No, the whole room.
But the whole room and brought that veteran presence to it. But
and I will say, side note, for this, there's no quarterbacks on it, just so people know listening. That's why one of the obvious is you could list every team's quarterback as their X factor. So we're just kind of putting that aside also.
Yeah, an X factor can be decided or defined in multiple ways.
Yeah, definitely.
I immediately think explosive because of the letter X and the way football is, explosive plays. So that's where my brain kind of goes. So the other position group that I honestly would put in, and then we could debate each one of these guys, but would be tight end. Brenton Strange could absolutely be this team's X factor. Nate Borkature potentially could be this team's X factor. We haven't seen enough of him from the offseason program. But if he's able to unlock Brenton, then he could also be an X factor. And then Tanner Koziol, we've done nothing but rave about him ever since we saw him on the grass. And so that whole tight end room, I feel like, especially the way that Liam Cohen's going to use the 12 and 13 personnel, that could be an X factor, but it's hard to pick just one at this point in time.
It's almost group on some of them, and that's how I felt with the running backs too. And I did see something earlier, which I want to bring this up when we have a little bit more time one day, because I had a friend do some deep research in the explosive offenses this year, and he broke it down between run plays, the pass plays, and then the whole team as a whole. And it was really interesting read. I'll send it to both of you, but it may even be fun to have them on. But the Jags had the 5th least explosive run offense last year and one of probably top 10 highest when it came to the pass. So that to me was another thing that had that. And we talked so much about Seattle, for example. Were they that team who was just going to dink and dunk all day on you and get down the field? No, they were going to have 4 or 5 explosive plays and that was just going to crush you. And so I do think it's important to have that. And so when you just mentioned that the X, like explosiveness, and that's why running back kind of came in my head, but tight end too, because we talk so much about how this team in the past several years has struggled against tight ends. They're not the only team. If you look at the list, there was about 8 last year that could not stop tight ends. So if you have multiple that are fitting into your offense and can do different things, that immediately that was one of the things that kind of saved Chicago last year was having Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland, those 2 tight ends that they could use on the field at the same time all the time. And people they both could block. They both can catch passes. And so no one really knew how to figure those 2 out down the stretch. But I do think that's important. And I do think on the other side of the ball, if we're talking about defensively, my mind also kind of went to Trayvon Walker because we've talked so much about this pass rush needing to get better. We know how good he is against the run. He's one of the best run defenders when it comes to the edges in the league, and we've seen that. But I do think that we've talked about other times of how there were moments and times where Josh Hines-Allen just completely took over games. I mentioned that Bills game last week where it was the Josh Hines-Allen game, and it was when you have a guy who can make plays like that, and Trayvon's just such a freak of nature that if he could be that. Not saying he's going to be Myles Garrett, but if he's heading towards that way where he can wreck games in that way, I truly do think that's an X factor because when teams are driving and then you get that quarterback and they lose 10, 15 yards on a sack, that kills momentum for teams and it obviously ends plays and ends games, and we see it a lot. So I do think he's one of the guys that if you see closer to what we saw that couple years ago of Trayvon Walker, it could be a really dangerous defense with him and then a back end that we feel like should be better.
Yeah. I think, you talk about the 3 tight ends, well, then the 3 safeties are going to be huge. I think Caleb Ransaw could be an X factor if he comes back healthy. They sent him on a blitz off the edge during camp in the offseason. He was there in a flash. He was so fast. Made a great play on a ball in the air that Trevor threw. Over the middle, should have had the pick, but was definitely in position.
Jaguars Social put out a video of him getting an interception from a practice that we weren't attending.
Yeah, no, he's looking good. I think Antonio Johnson, he won't be an X factor. He's a star in the making in my book. I think he can do it all. So, yeah, man, Borkature, look, I hope he's something, even if it's just a great blocker, I don't care. If he frees up Brenton and he's a great blocker and he'll make a few catches here and there, great. I do think Koziel's, if you use him right, I think he's a weapon and a half, man. He's going to be a tough and look, he's not like blazing fast, but he's fast enough to where you got to be athletic to cover him and fast to cover him, and then throwing the height.
Yeah.
You throw the ball to a 6'7" guy, throw it up where only he can get it.
Yeah. He's tall and he's got a great range to where he catches that rock.
Radius,
so catch radius. So I think he could be interesting.
And that's the fun part is there's so many different options. I think a lot of us are more excited about Caleb Ransaw just because we didn't get to see him play really last year after he got injured in training camp. But then there's Jalen Husky that I feel like we would be more excited about.
He might be the third.
If Ransaw wasn't,
Absolutely. Yeah, if Caleb Ransaw, if we had gotten to see him last year, or if Jalen Husky at this point in time got more, I think, playing time with the starters, so to speak, the ones. Because right now, obviously, that's the hard part is you're only able to see so many practices, and then they have to split those team reps amongst people.
They're trying to figure that out, too, right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they will, and it's going to be a great competition. You got 4 right there that are going to battle for 2-3 spots. And again, it depends who we play, and how you're going to match up with those different formations.
Yeah.
I think you said the Rams led the league with 37%, 12 personnel.
Yeah.
Or 12 and 13, something like that.
The combo.
So you got to, if you're playing teams like that, and we all know it's a copycat league. So guess what? Everybody's going to do it. That's why we're doing it, because we saw how well the Rams did it, and why can't we do it? I mean, it's always going to be like that in the National Football League.
Especially with us and the Rams.
Well, but everybody will do it. They'll all copy it. I mean, look, the Seattle had it going on.
The Seahawks did too. People always talk about the Rams, but the Seahawks did it as well. Lots of comments from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. If you want to get in on the conversation, this person said, the one thing that a lot of people are overlooking about Nate Borkature is that he's a good pass catcher. He was only targeted 22 times last year, but he caught 19 passes. They had a lot of other weapons that they spread the ball around to. So, yes, he's a good blocker for the run game, but I think he's going to surprise people as far as pass catching. The reason that we haven't talked more about Nate Borkature and what we have physically seen from him is
we
because
haven't got to.
he's only been out there like one day.
Yeah.
So, number 87 has been a guy that we've been excited to see, but hasn't been out there.
And that is the rhetoric out there. That's what's been out there since draft, the analysts and whatnot. Hey,
they didn't target him that much.
They didn't target him a lot, but when he did, he was open and he caught the ball. Fantastic.
Yep.
That's great. So let's see it at this level, and then we'll say that.
Yeah. And
he's
again,
looking good in the pass game.
If you haven't seen The Hunt and the episode, the most recent one, the season 7, episode 2, I believe is what it was from The Hunt this past week or the week before, they do a great job going inside the war room, and you get to see James Gladstone and Liam Cohen and Tony Baselli so excited about the pick of Nate Borkature.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch.
And I think part of it too is just when you only go off of what you've seen, to your point, Lauren. So far here, we haven't been able to see it. And then there's 5 years in college. So every single year there was too many weapons and he couldn't get the ball. So that's where hesitation comes in. But that doesn't mean he can't do it. We see it all the time where guys get drafted and they get Puka Nacua is one of the guys. Nobody was talking about that being one of those weapons that were going to change the NFL. I mean, they now have said that Borkature was going to be, I can't remember the wording, but in that they made some comment about that. But I do think until you see it, you're going off of the numbers and what you have seen.
I think A&M had another tight end that they went to more.
They did, yeah. But he had 4 years in college before that and would only have like 6 catches.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's also a reasoning why they didn't target him either, for whatever reason that is.
But yeah, we've been excited about from what we've seen him from Koziel so far. And so,
Koziel looks great as far as a pass. Look, Borkature looks big. He looks like a big tight end. Like I'm looking forward to see him in the pass game. I'm not worried about him blocking. I think he'll block. I think he'll be a fun guy to watch. But if he can be that guy that gets into the route tree and can run those plays and not give away run and pass because you don't know, because he can do both. I mean, that's why you draft him that high. That's why you draft him at all.
Absolutely. All right, more X Factor talk on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom, who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. If you love your dad or husband, but their garage is a mess, well, I've got good news for you. Closets by Design's Father's Day sale is here. Imagine custom cabinets for tools and beach gear, storage walls that actually organize the chaos, and durable new garage flooring that makes the whole space feel brand new. It is the perfect gift for every dad. Right now, get 40% off plus an extra 15% off and free installation. Schedule your free in-home design consultation today at closetsbydesign.com. Closets by Design. Imagine dad's garage totally organized.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey man, what's Hard Rock Bet giving new players?
If you win your first $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets.
$750? ¿Cuánto?
Oh, was that Ronaldinho? Sounds like his first bet scored.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New customers bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
The Jacksonville Axemen Rugby League is a full-contact sport that just hits different. It's fast-paced, no pads, no helmets. This Saturday, the Axemen battle the Tampa Mayhem at JU's The Rock Stadium at 7. Get there early for 90 minutes of non-stop action. Plus, the Permit Rockstar Bounce House for the kids. The Axemen are powered by Permit Rockstar, simplifying construction permits fast. Saturday night, Axemen Rugby League, 7 p.m., The Rock Stadium. It's gonna get intense.
Jacksonville, this is your club. Sporting Jacks is proudly representing the First Coast in the USL Championship, bringing professional soccer and unforgettable match day experience to Hodges Stadium. Feel the energy of professional soccer as Sporting Jacks continues to build something special on the First Coast. Join us as Sporting Jacks continues its historic inaugural season. Get tickets today at sportingjacks.com or call 904-863-KICK. Pro Soccer, Pro Jax.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World,
simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Lauren Brooks. Here's something I love. Big Chief Tire actually rewards you for taking care of your car. When you buy tires, you're automatically part of their Extra Mile program. You'll get $10 off every oil change, free tire rotations, free air checks, and more every time you go in. It's simple, honest savings from a family-owned shop that puts customers first. Call 904-932-0950 or visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com. It's one less thing to worry about.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Cruising along on this Wednesday afternoon, you know what? Let's give something away right now.
I love it.
Free admission pass to Battle Lion Airsoft. That would be like a paintball, but it's airsoft.
Okay.
Super fun. And an up to $100 floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers. Every lady, maybe guys too, but I know every lady loves her some flowers. This is all part of the 1010XL Father's Day gift guide. Visit 1010XL.com for more great gift ideas, and all winners will be entered for a chance to win $500 from Beard's Diamond. So that is a massive,
very cool.
Yeah, giveaway. So call number 4-641-1010. Call number 4-641-1010. Before we make RJ answer the phone, let's hear from Chad Morton. He was asked by Kai Stevens during the roundtable. They do an offensive coaches roundtable and a defensive coaches roundtable. The Jaguars do. And so she asked him about the challenge of the changes in the running back room with Travis Etienne leaving.
Oh, that's the best part. Now, like him leaving, like I miss him to death. I mean, just the amount of time I spent with him, his growth, and like what we're able to do for him, and you know, he's able to get life-changing money and opportunity. Like I'm so proud of that. But like I told him too, we gonna do better than you. Like that's our goal. Like I told him that. Like we're gonna try to put up better numbers than you, have more success, like outrush you. That's just how we are. We're all competitive, but like that's the fun part of like having a new group. Like, oh yeah, we're trying to crush you, and we're trying to have people forget about you. Like that's the best part.
I just love that. But because, yeah, you are excited that this guy just got, $13 million a year or something along those lines from the Saints. And that is life-changing generational wealth.
Yeah.
But also you want to do better than him for sure. So,
Well,
again, Chad Morton.
You also want to show that you made the right move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a
Because
large
if you
part of
don't,
it, yeah.
then it's the opposite.
Because,
You know,
yeah.
then
Well, it
you're
wasn't
like,
up
well,
to Chad as to whether or not Etienne stayed.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
but
know,
he's
I'm
a
just
we.
saying,
It's
like,
a we.
in
It's not a
general.
him. And
Yeah.
that's what if you, at the end of the day, if we're talking at the end of next year and Etienne is, top 10 in rushing and outrushed by far any Jag, that's going to be a big storyline around the league of people being like, okay, see, we told you, pay your running back and keep your running back.
guys.
That was one of the bigger parts of your offense last year. But if it's not a talking point, which we don't really know at this point in time when it comes to the split of him and Alvin Kamara and what exactly that's going to look like in their run game. They didn't run the ball very well last year in New Orleans, so I think we may see more Etienne than what a lot of people are maybe expecting right away.
Almost $12 million. I gave him an extra million.
An extra million. But it's going to be a storyline all over the league just because it was one of the bigger contracts given out to a running back and that we've seen recently. And it was, Travis and Trevor Lawrence came from Clemson, and it was their buddies, and it was this whole storyline with that. And then last year when the new regime came in, and there was the conversations of, is he going to get traded? Are they going to trade away Travis Etienne?
Right.
And then he had a career year. And so there's so many things that are going to circle that, but it won't matter if you're able to run the ball well.
Well, for me, it's the touchdown production.
Yeah.
So you got to replace that. If you replace that, great move.
And you may replace it with passing touchdowns.
Yeah, whatever.
You may not replace it with rushing
It
touchdowns.
might not be with one guy. Right. It might be a couple different guys. I think they probably rush fine. Like I never felt like he was like this dynamic running back as far as running the football. I thought if you got him outside in space, he was really good.
Yeah, not between the tackles.
In the passing game, he was great. I think they should have used him more. I think he was total mismatch for linebackers and safeties. If you got him one-on-one in the open field on option routes, I think he could still do that. He's a great pass catcher, but it's that touchdown production you got to replace. So if you do that, and if that's Tootin, Rodriguez, and Strange, fine. Who cares? As long as you replace it, then it was the right move to make. You know,
it could
in
be
my
that
opinion.
Trevor has 45 passing touchdowns and the Jaguars have much fewer rushing touchdowns this season. Like that's a
That'd
possibility.
be 16 more.
Yeah, that would be a lot more. Yeah,
Which would be great.
But yeah, if they start off hot. But I think
45.
What I would like to know from Travis Etienne, A-Chan, whatever, what did he think of Liam Cohen's comments on the stink was the run game? I mean, Liam didn't specifically say that sentence. Liam said they had to deal with the stink, and Ryan O'Halloran had the follow-up question at the owners' meetings.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the run game? And Liam said yes. But so I wonder what somewhere in New Orleans when he finds that out, or even like maybe he wasn't even paying attention. But if you were to ask Etienne, like, how do you feel about that? What would Travis Etienne say? Would he say, "Hey, it wasn't me. I had 13 total touchdowns. It was the offensive line."
His yards per carry kept going south.
Yeah.
I mean, he started off phenomenal. In the first maybe 6-8 weeks, he was really good, but it was declining week after week after week. Remember, he started off with a bang with Carolina, which got him to like 8 yards a carry, and then over time it got to 5, and then it was 4, and then it got to 3-7, and then you're like, well, heck, that's not running the ball very well. So if he doesn't think he's part of the stink or was part of the stink, then he's not being truthful, because he was part of it. So were the other running backs, and so was the interior offensive line, because somehow, some way, you couldn't run the football consistently at all at the end of the year. At least in the last half of the year, you had the one good game, the last game of the year where Etienne had a nice game. I think 85 yards. It was like 5 yards a carry. It was great. Other than that, it was 2.7, 3.3, 3.7. I mean, it was stinky, and Tootin was no better. Yeah. So you could tell me this, you could tell me that, but the run game, look, that he was part of the stink. The question is, was it obviously it wasn't just him, but why was it him? Was he not hitting the hole at the right time? Where's the line just getting beat up front? Were they getting thrown around? I don't know. It didn't look like it to me. I think a lot of times with Etienne, at least from my opinion, I saw where he didn't see the hole right away, or the cutback, or hit the hole on time. And then there were times he would. Yeah. And he'd be unbelievable. That wham with the tight end off tackle, and he's behind the the pulling guard. That was a thing of beauty. He knew how to run that thing all day long, and they didn't do that enough. Now up the middle, he just wasn't that guy. Remember when he was younger, that he would have these tremendous runs and then just get lit up at the end of the run. Do you remember that? Like it was first, second year, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like put your pants down. Like you're getting killed out there. He'd get right back up. Yeah. And over time, but he wasn't that runner where he wasn't going to run people over.
Yeah.
Middle linebacker meet him in the hole. He ain't running him over. He's just not that type of player. But he is a good enough player to get out in space to really help your offense. But he was part of the stink. The question is, have they fixed it?
Yeah. Right, because the offensive line is virtually the same, potentially.
At least the starters look like it.
But
maybe a guard different. But yeah, I think that, he'll probably say, I'm sure, I feel like he was a humble guy. He was never one of the players where I took Etienne as being the guy that was like, I'm better than you and this is your fault. I don't think we ever saw that from him. What he would probably say is, I had the 11th most rushing yards in the NFL last year, and there were some other issues at times. And I think the one thing with Etienne is he was always that type of back. I don't know. It's almost frustrating when you use the running backs in the wrong way, which we had seen in previous years. Like, stop making him go between the tackles up the middle all the time. And last year, around this time, I remember you and I, Tommy, having a lot of conversations about get him on the perimeter. That's where he's at his best. And so the thing was, we were like, okay, Tank Bigsby can be this guy that we can go up the middle and go between the tackles. And then you can let Etienne be that guy and get all his yards on the outside. Then Tank's gone, so you kind of have to do this with a rookie suddenly. And Tootin was up and down, a bit of a roller coaster during moments too. He wasn't the most consistent, so it had to kind of fall on Etienne, and he's not that type of running back. So
and Tootin got hurt too.
And then Tootin got hurt. So yeah, I think there's a lot of combinations, but I'm sure he's looking and saying, I feel like I did my part in the offense when you're in, pretty much top 10 in rushing yards and around a lot of really good running backs. Then you did and you have 13 touchdowns to add on to that. I feel like he's probably not saying it was totally his fault, but I'm sure there were games where he was like, man, I could have done this and that on that game, because I think every player can do that.
I will say in his defense, like even when the run game didn't feel like it was going well, he contributed in the passing game. He was very dynamic in that. So he I don't want to say made up for it, but he made up for it as far as production, because he had 7 receptions for touchdowns and I think 6 rushing, or vice versa. But it was obviously pretty close. So yeah, listen, if they can replace that production, that's a lot of touchdowns. 13 touchdowns, no joke.
That's what I'm saying. It may not be that many rushing touchdowns, in combination this season.
We don't know.
The only players, real quick, we have to hit break, that had more rushing yards than him: James Cook, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, A-Chan, Kyron Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Only.
What about yards per carry?
Well, it breaks it down kind of weird on here, but they all had, Christian McCaffrey had 3.9, Barkley had 4.1, Etienne was at 4.3. So Etienne had more than Barkley, more than Christian McCaffrey, but then there's that huge gap. James Cook was 5.2, and Henry's 5.2, Jonathan Taylor's 4.9, Bijan's 5.2.
Yeah, well, and he started heavy.
Yeah.
He was at 8 point something.
Yeah, and we knew when Liam Cohen was hired that the backs were going to be asked to catch the football. Yeah. And that's why we talked about how the Jaguars the previous year had 0 receiving touchdowns from a running back. Yeah. 0.
No, right.
That's pretty crazy what Liam Cohen could do.
He also, by the way, didn't fumble, and every single one of the guys in front of him fumbled.
Yep. All right, Tom's takeaways on the other side. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm Paul Posluszny, and you're listening to the best Jaguars coverage in Jacksonville on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Looking for your locally raised beef for your family? Houston's Meat Company proudly carries North Florida cattle raised right here in our community. From fresh ground beef to hand-cut steaks and roasts, every cut is USDA choice or higher. Locally raised from birth to harvest with no added hormones or antibiotics. It's quality you can taste and local sourcing you can feel good about. For more than 50 years, Jacksonville's families have trusted Houston's Meat Company for quality meats at great prices. Houston's Meat Company, Main Street at 295.
The new MVP of lunch has arrived. Firehouse Subs Steak and Cheese Melt. USDA Choice Flame-Seared Steak, sauteed red and green bell peppers, caramelized onions, melted provolone cheese, and mayo on a toasted sub roll. Steak and Cheese Melt only at Firehouse Subs.
When my dad tore his meniscus skiing, he was told that surgery was the only fix. But surgery meant giving up his hobbies. So we went to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. They specialize in non-invasive treatments that get you back to fighting shape. My dad got a platelet-rich plasma, or PRP, injection. It took a fraction of the time to heal, and now he's back to doing what he loves.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Oh, it's a promise made perfect, gang, and it comes from Chad and Sandy. Your home sold guaranteed, or we'll buy it. They have the largest pool of buyers in the area. Their home selling program is designed to maximize your sales price. No long-term contracts, no costly repairs. You're in complete control. You need to sell now. Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, stress-free. And they deliver on this promise. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. They're the local real estate experts I trust and recommend. No required repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts you can cancel at any time. Marine on Pace Island and Fleming Island. I needed to downsize to a single-story home, but my house in Pace Island had been sitting on the market for 158 days. Heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, gave them a call. Their strategy generated multiple showings. Day 2, my home sold. Full asking price, $449. It can for you, too. Go to chadandsandy.com.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Mike Dempsey here. DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Florida. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Florida. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code 1010XL, spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code 1010XL. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
Ah, this feeling is brought to you by Aleve for back pain relief. What feeling is that, you ask? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from back pain. That move how you want to, not how you have to feeling. That keep going through your day without slowing you down feeling. The kind that brings you back to yourself all day long without interruption. Oh, yeah. Because Aleve offers long-lasting pain relief. Feel up to 12 hours of back pain relief with one dose. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. And we're talking about Jaguars X Factor. X Factors around the AFC we can also get to here in a little bit. I did notice there is one quarterback on the list from Mr. Ben Arthur of Fox Sports. He has Bo Nix as the X Factor for the Broncos.
Okay, with the ankle.
Yep, because as we just saw, he had to have another procedure to clean up bone spurs. That sounds really painful to me.
It does.
But yeah, we'll continue to talk X Factors, but time now for Tom's Take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com. Or dial #law. That's all.
All right, my take today is on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. It's centered around the U.S. Open and golf. How about that? Yeah, what I like about the U.S. Open typically, and I think they're going to struggle, is when they struggle. You know, because it reminds me of my own game when the conditions are great and I totally struggle. But they will, you know, and the U.S., look, I think one thing I like about the U.S. Open is being one of the majors. You're not finishing 10 under, 11 under, 8 under, whatever. You're really
17 under.
Got to figure out how to. And now the wind, they say, is going to be. I was listening to Primetime. The wind's going to be unbelievable up there. So they're really going to have to figure that out. I think it makes it more interesting for me. You know, and then you see where the cream rises. But I saw where they're thinking maybe 1 under, 2 under will win it. And I like when a golf tournament's like that. And I'm the novice. I understand that. I'm
so
not
you like the British Open too?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a little different because that just is so spread out. It feels wide open, you know, obviously, but it's going to be a tough challenge. But I think that's where you figure out, you know, how really, I mean, obviously these guys are phenomenal golfers no matter what they're playing at. But in those conditions, at a tough type of a track like this, with the rough being unbelievable, just you got to be on point. You got to be accurate. You know, you got to hit the fairways, got to hit the green. So I think it's good. I know we're going to make our picks a little bit later, right? Yeah. But that's my take today, brought to our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, ForThePeople.com.
I was trying to remember the last event we did, who won and who lost. And I really couldn't remember. So we might do rock, paper, scissors for who goes first.
Was it golf?
We did.
I think it would have been golf. Yeah.
Well, we did the Kentucky Derby. I know that. But I don't remember if we did golf after that.
So maybe not, because the Masters.
We never did the Masters, no.
We did the Masters. We didn't do the PGA.
Yeah, we didn't do the PGA.
Yeah, the Masters is before the Kentucky Derby. Right. That's the first Saturday in May.
We didn't do Knicks or anything either, did we?
We didn't do.
So I think the Kentucky Derby was our last one.
Yep.
So whose horse won and whose horse
yours
lost?
Was first. Well, none of ours won, but yours was highest. Mine was second. His
mine
didn't make it to the race.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he was out.
All right, so
So
that
you
means
get the first pick.
Pick first, yeah.
Okay.
Taylor picks second, and I'll pick third.
All right, beautiful.
So that will come up a little bit later. Back to X Factors. So for the Kansas City Chiefs, Rashee Rice is the X Factor. Again, this is according to Ben Arthur of Fox Sports. I find that interesting because I feel like he also could be facing a suspension from the league for all the off-the-field stuff.
Yeah.
I think one of the more interesting ones that I saw was like we said, the Broncos and Bo Nix. The Texans, I think, is another interesting one. Who would you guess for the Texans, Tom?
I'm not gonna do the quarterback, right?
Correct. It's not a quarterback.
I'll say David Montgomery.
Yeah.
And that is ding, ding. Well done.
That would have been my guess. Their defense is already insane. You know that, so you're not counting on anybody out there to change anything. Nico Collins has been consistent.
Yeah.
He's one of the better wide receivers. I mean, maybe you could say a Tank Dell, like how
That's
healthy
who I
is
was-
Tank Dell going to be? Because that
He
could
could be.
completely change the
Yes.
offense if you have Nico and Tank back.
Yep.
But I do think because
CJ
their run
Stroud
game
could easily be
could
the X
yeah.
factor.
I think because of how bad their run game, they had one of the worst run games, if not the worst, in the league last year. So that is going to be one of the things that signifies a lot of change if you're able to run the ball and take some pressure off of CJ Stroud in moments. The one thing, because you mentioned Bo Nix being the one for the Broncos, and that one I guess I get in the sense of you're coming off an injury. They have a brutal defense, so they're not worried about that at all. They were able to run the ball well last year. You know, their offensive line was good, so maybe that's your next thing where you're like, that player has to play really well. But I honestly, and I know offensive line with the Chargers struggled, and that's been a lot of their issues, but I don't know how you almost don't put Justin Herbert in that. Like, he's never able to stay healthy. You feel like he'll have really good games and really bad games, and there's just been all of this money spent into the offense and all of these other things to try and help him out, and it just always feels like it falls apart for Herbert in the bigger moments. We saw in the playoffs, obviously, here.
Yeah,
So I'm
they have
interested in
Rashawn
Slater, which I get. Their offensive line was really bad. Well, more so banged up. They have a good O-line. They were just hurt last year.
Right.
So a few interesting ones when it comes to around the AFC as a whole.
Yeah, the Patriots have center Jared Wilson. I would never have a center as my X factor. I mean,
the Patriots.
I think it's the left tackle. Like, is that Will Campbell going to hold up?
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
because
lot
he
of
was the one
positions.
that was exposed last year.
Right.
Garrett Bradbury was like fine.
Yeah,
He wasn't
yeah.
great, but he was all right. And that's what
AJ
it was.
Brown you could put for the Patriots at this point in time.
There's
Like,
a few, yeah.
several I would put. No offense to Jared Wilson. He was a really good center at Georgia. I
Yeah.
just wouldn't pick a center.
Yeah, and then the Jets, they have the corner Deshaun Wright, who was the one who got like 7 picks last year for Chicago, and he ended up leaving in free agency there. I guess because they didn't have picks last year, like any interceptions. That was one of their biggest issues. So that's something that it's like, hey, will that change things for you, having a guy who can get his hands on the ball? So it is interesting how each of these look. You mentioned earlier Caleb Ransaw for the Jags, Tommy, and they have that in Tennessee. Kevin Winston Jr., their safety, as their X factor. And the Tennessee front linebackers and defensive line were pretty good last year, but their secondary struggled. So that could make a difference, but it's interesting that something offensively wasn't the answer there.
Yeah, I would think for Tennessee, the guy they got from the Jets, the former Florida State pass rusher, what's his name? I think it's Johnson. He was a trade or a free agent.
Jared Johnson?
No, it wasn't Jared.
Well, that's who we're going to be talking
but
about today, by the way.
reunited with Robert
It's the Tennessee
Saleh,
Titans.
right? Reunited with Robert Saleh, which will add to, next to Justin Simmons. Their defensive front, I mean, look.
John Franklin Myers.
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson, and they got John Franklin Myers.
And they got John Franklin Myers. So,
But I cannot believe for the Browns, by the way, they have Quinshawn Judkins. That has to be the quarterback. 1,000%. You can just
Well,
put
they just don't know who the quarterback
Yeah, you can
is.
just put quarterback.
True.
But we'll continue talking X Factor and more. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The big stories, fresh conversations. The Lead with Hayes Carline and Ryan O'Halloran. Fridays from 4 to 6 on 1010XL.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
It's Men's Health Month, and Ackerman Urology reminds you that early detection matters for prostate health. If you're over 40, now's the time to get checked. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. So don't wait. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
The leaderboard never lies at the U.S. Open.
And McElroy has tied it at the top.
U.S. Open coverage is brought to you by
LiveForeverGolf.com and TopDressing.com. Follow the leaders on 1010XL.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
At the Y, there's no place like this place. More than just a gym, the YMCA is a community where support, connection, and your well-being come first. And now, getting started is easier than ever with Your Rate, an income-based, affordable membership designed to fit your lifestyle and your budget, so you can focus on what really matters. Feeling better, moving more, and connecting with others. Join today and discover a place where you truly belong. Learn more about Your Rate at FCYMCA.org.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
I'm Chris Wayne with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Awaken 180. The 2026 U.S. Open gets underway tomorrow with Scotty Scheffler, the odds-on favorite to win at Shinnecock Hills. Odds makers have Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Tommy Fleetwood, and Matt Fitzpatrick rounding out the top 5. 1010XL will have hourly updates all weekend, and the Edwin Watts Golf Hour will have all the developing storylines this Saturday at 11. It's 88 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Aaron Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Lots going on in the sports world. Time now to swerve into Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
Update from Omaha. Georgia staved off elimination by beating Texas 2-0 yesterday. West Virginia eliminated Troy last night 12-0.
Whoa.
We have now reached double elimination because we have only 4 teams remaining. And currently North Carolina is beating West Virginia 5-1 in the top of the third. North Carolina has a runner on first with 2 outs. So North Carolina, I had told y'all before the tournament started, I thought the winner of this whole thing would be either North Carolina or Georgia. I still think those 2 teams might be the ones that meet in the College World Series final. But yeah, North Carolina continuing to kind of breeze through this tournament so far. They played a hot West Virginia team, beat them 5-2 on Sunday. So this is the first time that North Carolina's had to play since Sunday. So we know how much of an advantage that is due to the lack of having to throw some pitchers out there. But yeah, West Virginia did just get out of that one. The top of the third. And so 5-1 heading to the bottom of the third. So we'll certainly keep you updated there. And then tonight, Oklahoma, Georgia at 7 p.m. So we've got the non SEC teams playing now, and then tonight will be the battle of the SEC teams.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the West Virginia people somehow on Twitter. I got onto the West Virginia world yesterday, and they were being like super kind to Troy. They were just like, man, good for you guys. You beat a bunch of SEC schools to like get to this point. You played hard and da-da-da. Like no one was expecting out of this. So I respected that, and it made me like them a little bit more than I did yesterday because of all the Pat McAfee stuff that he was being crazy about. But
stop being anti-Rocco's, Pat.
Yeah.
Stop it. We love Rocco's.
I don't know why he went there, with that whole he makes money off it, and he's, and his math was
Yeah, we didn't play the clip because it's
his math. Good at math.
His math was wrong, but
yeah, they do donate money. Right, and he said,
Mm.
Pat McAfee also in the clip, it's on Twitter if you want to find it, but said that he doesn't know of a credit card where you could charge $300,000. Has he ever heard of
the black card?
Yeah,
there's one that
Express
you can
Black.
hear clink on a table.
Yeah,
usually that means there's a lot on there.
There's no limit. So if you need an American Express Black card, Pat, go to your local banker.
You should have. Yeah, you should be able to have that.
Especially with the new deal that we talked about a couple weeks ago, the $60 million. But Pat McAfee, I'm sure he's spent a lot there in Rocco's, and therefore Rocco's is going to donate a lot back into their community in Omaha and then also the university's community. But speaking of college baseball, Oregon State freshman lefty Trey Morris is transferring to Florida. Why does that sound familiar, that Oregon State to Florida connection? Because Florida just got Oregon State's pitching coach. So it makes sense that then they're going to get a really good pitcher from there. And in his last 5 starts, he's performed incredibly well. He went 5-0 with a 1.53 ERA, again, just over the last 5 starts. So he made multiple freshman All-American teams. So Florida obviously needs pitching arms, going to probably lose at least Liam Peterson to the draft, but also just need to revamp the bullpen, but that's a whole nother story. Speaking of baseball, the Rays lost to the Dodgers last night 1-0. Take a wild guess as to who scored the only home run in the game for the Dodgers.
Shohei?
I was about to say Shohei.
Ohtani.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ohtani, I mean?
I don't know what you
combined it. It's fine. We knew what you meant.
Yeah, Shotani.
I mean, Showtime.
But yeah, literally, Drew Rasmussen was pitching phenomenally well.
Wow.
Made one mistake, gave up the home run to Ohtani, and then lose 1-0. But Ohtani does pitch against the Rays today, so that'll be fun to watch. And then want to remind everybody, we're going to talk about the World Cup here in a second. Mr. Chubby's on Friday.
Yes,
He'll be there from 2 to 4 in Ponte Vedra.
And the Frangie show is after us. I guess the lead will be after us. So the 1010XL will be there from 2 to 6 on Friday.
Boy.
And if you're if you're paying attention to the U.S. schedule, the United States kicks off at 3.
3, right?
So there's no chance I will be leaving at 4 p.m. after the show. I will be 100% watching the second half of the game at Mr. Chubby's. Were y'all watching yesterday? Or 100%. I'm sure you 100%. Have you seen the highlights of all the goals by the incredible guys that were playing yesterday? Holland,
I saw a hat trick
for Norway,
Messi,
hat trick for Messi, and then also 2 goals for Kylian Mbappe. If you
I was watching the Mbappe.
If you haven't seen that goal by Mbappe, it's ridiculous. Like ridiculous. Senegal, so France-Senegal was 2-0. Senegal tied 2-1, so you got a little nervous if you're a French fan. And then as soon as that happened, Mbappe ripped it from beyond the 18.
It was so far away.
It was just an insane goal. And so then up 3-1, and then so they got to relax again because that was towards the end of the game.
It was funny. We had the moment, you and I were talking about this, Lauren, when if you look away for a second and they replay something and then you look back and you're like, you think it happens again. So that happened with the Mbappe goal because, it was 0-0 forever, I felt like, and then finally they end up scoring, and then it was like 2-1. I don't know, we're going crazy in the office, and I was like, this is crazy. So I looked away for a second, and then they replayed that, but it was like several minutes after it already happened, and Jacob and I both looked at each other and were like, Mbappe again? Like, what the heck? But it was not. It was a replay. So if
they
you
replay a lot of goals in the World Cup or in soccer in general,
and
there's
whiles
not that many.
after. Like in the NFL, I feel like they'll do it immediately, but then you don't see that unless
because there's more touchdowns.
Yeah, there's more to show for this. It was like 5 minutes later, it felt like, and I'm like, oh, he did it again.
Yeah, no, that goal, like I said, if you haven't seen it, just Google it. Right now, well, the game has now gone final. Portugal and Congo tied at 1.
Yeah, that one was crazy too.
Really surprising result there for Portugal. But we've seen some interesting draws so far in this World Cup. That game was in Houston. England, Croatia kicks off at 4 p.m. today in Arlington, Texas, obviously at Jerry's World. Ghana and Panama kick off at 7 p.m. That game's in Toronto. And then tonight at 10 p.m., I know you'll be awake for this one, Tom, Uzbekistan and Colombia.
Oh, yeah.
In Mexico City.
You know, I was just seeing on radio, Ronaldo plays for Portugal?
Mm-hmm.
And did he always?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've been learning a lot too.
Always play for the same country. Messi has always played for Argentina. Ronaldo has always played for Portugal.
I was like, isn't Messi in Miami right now? And Trent was like, yes. So he's breaking down. He's like, clubs and countries. I'm like, this is why I get confused. But
American
I'm learning.
soccer is MLS. That's the league that's not great. And then there's lots of leagues internationally. And that's why Pulisic went overseas.
And I just thought, so like when Messi came to play for Miami, I felt like the whole storyline was like Messi's coming to pretty much like retire in Florida and like he's almost done. And then he gets a hat trick yesterday.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was like, okay, never mind.
And when you play teams that aren't as good as you, like you don't have to be the most elite athlete to be able to score, right? Like you can kind of hang around the goal and the best guys know, best women too.
Yeah.
Like they know how to score. Like again, if you're playing a team that isn't quite up to par. Now, when you play the more elite competition, you can't just hang around by the goal.
So how, and I'm only asking because I'm the novice here, but how does a team like Miami get a guy like Messi and other?
They pay.
Yeah, money.
So
NIL.
Other clubs, MLS clubs just don't do that, or like
I think
why
he
someone
probably
go grab
wanted to be-
Ronaldo and bring him over to?
They could, but I think
could,
they
okay.
wanted. I think Messi wanted to be in Miami.
Yeah,
I think it was a mutual agreement.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people thought that this would be the kind of the swan song for Messi because it's his sixth World Cup and maybe he wouldn't be that good. But obviously in the first game, he looked unbelievable for Argentina yesterday.
Yeah.
And then last thing in Lauren's lane, Miles Russell will be grouped with the golfer for the U.S. Open. Will be grouped with 3-time major champion winner Padraig Harrington and 2022 Players Championship and Open Championship major winner Cameron Smith.
Okay.
So obviously
that's
they're
so exciting.
nearby in proximity because Cam lives in Volano. And I think Palm Valley, and then Miles Russell from Jack's Beach. So that'll be, of course, for the
live
first
is
2
over.
rounds. Yeah,
That's right.
Shinnecock Hills. I don't think it's officially over yet, but it sure as heck feels like the end is near. But yeah, good stuff there. All right, we're gonna go talk about the Titans next, right?
Unfortunately,
and talk more about that team that we hate up in Tennessee. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This World Cup soccer update is laced up by Valvoline Instant Oil Changes and Houston's Meats.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update presented by Henkel, official partner of U.S. Soccer. Group K play kicked off with a surprise result in Houston as Congo secured a point against Portugal, 1-1 the final. Portugal took an early lead 6 minutes in with the Ruben Neves goal and controlled the pace of play, but a Congo header by Yohan Wissa just before the half leveled the score. Congo with its first ever World Cup goal and a result against one of the favorites. Coming up in Group L at 4 p.m. Eastern, England begins its 2026 journey against Croatia in Dallas, a 2018 semifinal rematch with a lot of the same characters. Harry Kane coming into this World Cup as England's all-time lead scorer and coming off the best season of his career. From a goal-scoring perspective, 61 goals in all competitions with Bayern Munich. I'm Lucas Panzica, Westwood One Sports.
Gear up for the games this summer. Henkel's Summer of Soccer Sweepstakes is giving fans the chance to win the new 2026 U.S. Men's National Team jersey and U.S. Soccer Store gift cards. Everything you need to show up and support the home team, so don't miss out. No purchase necessary. Starts May 16th and ends June 15th, 2026. Must be 18 and a resident of the contiguous United States. Visit HenkelSoccerSweeps.com for official rules. Sponsored by Henkel. Henkel, proud partner of U.S. Soccer.
Save money on your next oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or high mileage motor oil for just $35.95. Power your drive with Mobil 1. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Installed by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Florida football entertaining 5 stars over the weekend, and head coach John Summerall hopes he can turn an official visit into a commitment. Jalen Brewster, the nation's #1 overall prospect for 27, visiting Gainesville and has the Gators as a possible landing spot, along with LSU, even though he's already committed to Texas Tech. And Texas commit Eastern Royal also in town, keeping Florida high on his list in case he changes his Longhorns play.
Jeff Prosser here. When you need new windows or doors, you want high-end quality without the middleman markup, and that's why I'm telling you about Cash Building Material. Same premium materials, same beautiful finishes, but at a price that actually makes sense for your home. No subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. If you want it done right, the first time, get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. Wait, is that Ronaldinho? Ronaldinho, you think Brazil will win it all this summer? Claro que sí.
Can I just say, you're my favorite player, ever.
Bet all of soccer's biggest matches this summer on Hard Rock Bet. And keep your cool in case you run into Ronaldinho. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and back your country. Roll with us. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Wheeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
This Father's Day, get Dad on the water with Green Acres Sporting Goods. If he fishes in Northeast Florida, this is where he goes. Rods, reels, tackle, bait, and all the gear he actually uses. Not sure what to get Dad? Grab a Green Acres gift card in any amount and let him decide. Shop Father's Day at Green Acres Sporting Goods. In store or online at greenacresporting.com.
When it comes to orthopedic care, experience matters, and teamwork matters even more. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, our fellowship-trained specialists work together to treat a full range of conditions, from knees and shoulders to spine, sports injuries, and joint replacement. You'll be guided by the right specialist for your needs, with coordinated care and personalized treatment plans designed for better outcomes. Smarter care, faster access, trusted expertise. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you as Walk-Off Charities has grown, we now manage a large athletic facility with numerous fields, including the Bregan Baseball Complex. To get around, we needed a good, reliable golf cart. I went straight to Dynamic Drives and Design in Jax Beach. I met with Travis, told him exactly what our needs were. Would you believe before you knew it, the perfect cart was delivered to us at an incredible price? If you need a golf cart, Travis and his team are the go-to. Learn more about them at dynamicdrivesdesign.com. Hey, it's Joe C. Wingstop just dropped the boneless meal deal for two. 20 boneless wings, choice of 4 flavors, a large fry, and 2 dips. All for only $16.99. Limited time. And while you're crushing that deal, get in the Club Wingstop loyalty program. 10 points for every single dollar you spend. Sign up now at 1010XL.com/Wingstop. I'm locked in. You need to be too. Wingstop, baby. Get the deal and get in the club. Bonus meal deal for 2 and Club Wingstop. Limited time only at Wingstop.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Going to get to the Tennessee Titans, the hated rival up there in Nashville. We love the city, love the music.
Oh, yeah.
But hate the team. That's for sure. By the way, update in North Carolina, West Virginia. Before we talk more football, North Carolina just scored another run, so it's going to be 6-1 now with 2 on. Runners on second and third with just 1 out. So North Carolina starting to pour it on, but hey, I've said that before, and then the team made it close. So
you never know.
Yeah, we talked earlier, Taylor, about the Titans. Again, according to Ben Arthur of Fox Sports, he's never gotten so much airtime in his life on this show. His Titans,
You're welcome, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. His Titans X Factor is Kevin Winston Jr., the safety, but they made a lot of moves this offseason.
Yeah, the Tennessee Titans, as I was going through their additions between free agency and between the draft, and just in addition, some of the guys that maybe you feel like could take a step up from last year, or guys that were injured last year that you're expecting to be back, you honestly are like, this team could be kind of good. Like, if not saying they're going to all of a sudden win 10, 11, 12 games, but if Cam Ward plays like he did the final, I feel like we're saying this with every quarterback, but if he plays like he did the final 5 or 6 games, and some of these other guys stay healthy and the additions hit, I mean, I feel like they honestly could be pretty competitive. One of the first notes that I saw about their offseason in general is which we knew they spent the most money in the offseason, but they spent $319,000, million dollars in the offseason this year. The next closest to that was the Raiders at 308, and then the Commanders at 259, and the Colts at 256. So they spent a ton of money. That doesn't always equal wins. We know that. We've spent a lot of money here in Jacksonville and some free agencies.
Yeah, usually when we quote unquote won the offseason, we still lost. Regular season.
It didn't always pan out the right way. I will say I'm still glad they did not take Jeremiah Love. I was absolutely terrified that was going to happen. But some of their biggest moves, we mentioned a couple of them in the top of the show when we were talking about the X factors, and that's on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to John Franklin Myers and Jermaine Johnson. Both of those guys added to their defensive line. So 2 new defensive ends on that, and you put Jeffrey Simmons in the middle of that, and that could be a dangerous front right there. They also obviously spent into the linebacking room, getting Anthony Hill, who was one of our favorite, Tommy, throughout the draft process when it comes to that in the NFL draft this year. So they also added wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson and KJ Osborne. Wan'Dale Robinson has multiple 1,000-yard seasons. I think people probably don't talk about him as much as and part of that is probably because he's played for the Giants, and there's been a whirlwind of quarterbacks, and then they finally feel like they kind of get one last year, and Jackson Dart has concussions, and things are kind of going on, so it didn't really totally work out. The big thing, obviously, all new coaching staff. When you talk about Robert Saleh, Brian Dable, and Gus Bradley, all of those guys have kind of failed when it comes to being head coaches, but have been top coordinators when they're asked to just be a coordinator. When you're asked to just worry about your defense or your offense, they've led some good teams. So that's going to be interesting how the combination of those 3 guys work. So I wanted to combine that in these offseason moves, because we did that last year with the Jags when we were talking about they got Liam Cohen and they got Campanile. If we're including our coordinators, then you're doing it for them also. KJ Osborne,
they have a lot more experience than the Jags group.
They did last year. KJ Osborne, I think, is interesting too. Before the Vikings drafted Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne was that number 2 guy behind Justin Jefferson in Minnesota, and actually was pretty good, always around 6, 7, 800 yards, 7 or 8 touchdowns during that time. So it's kind of a under the radar move. If it works, we'll see. I'm not totally sure, but it is a guy who has been a part of some pretty efficient offenses at times. And then cornerback Alontae Taylor and Darrell Flott they added, which I think are going to be 2 of the bigger moves if those hit. They drafted, obviously, wide receiver Carnell Tate, and then they got another defensive end in Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. Yeah, a lot of people were super high on him. A little bit older, so there were some concerns of just the age size, but a lot of people, he was just the favorite true pass rusher for some. They got linebacker Anthony Hill, we mentioned that, and then running back Nicholas Singleton out of Penn State, who also had 3 of his 4 seasons in college had over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns.
Well, he's big. He's one of the
Singleton.
big. Yeah. And they're with Pollard and Tajay Spears, they're a little smaller size, quicker. That guy's a load.
And Pollard also just had 1,000 yards.
Oh, he's
also.
good. Yeah, he's
I
very
like
fast.
Pollard a lot. So when you look at just those moves, and like I said, if they are expecting Cam Ward to continue to develop and kind of figure things out. But so those are some of the bigger notes when it comes to just the additions. Now getting into some of the notes coming out of camp. So Cam Ward struggled for the first few weeks of camp. That was a lot of the notes coming out of there, especially last week. We were hearing not so many good things coming out of them. So the word underwhelming came to in a lot of the articles that I was reading. He did have a bounce back week this week from what I heard. Multiple multiple reports said he's been looking a ton better, including yesterday, multiple tweets coming out of camp saying he looked a little bit more in control of things. They were saying even when it was bad, he's healthy. Yeah. They said there were some good moments. One of the notes I read, some good moments of operation, just a ton of miscommunication. I think you can also understand this. We go back to this point last year when the Jags had all of the newness and it took some time for things to look a little bit more functional. So they may just be kind of in that process of OTAs where you have all three new coordinators and you've got some new weapons you're working with. And Cam Ward, when you're trying to figure out, which piece of what was working last year and how to pull that into this year. But there's been a lot of down this year, so we'll see what that looks like as you get into training camp. Some of the talks when he was struggling, though, was about Trubisky and Will Levis, and they've been better at extending plays and kind of getting things a little bit more open to the receivers, and some of that, they were running the offense a little bit more efficiently. I think Trubisky's been in the league now a while, since 2017, so at least just having the knowledge of being able to learn playbooks a little quicker and some of those things may factor into that, but it did seem like Cam Ward kind of caught back up this week a little bit. There's a lot of excitement on the tight ends. Gunnar Helm and Daniel Bellinger reports that Bellinger is very willing and good blocker through camp, and it's opened up a lot of good moments for Helm to just kind of be that, like play his role in the receiving area of the game. So there's a lot of notes that I'm seeing if you go through and type in Gunnar Helm anywhere. He's been one of the standouts out of the Tennessee Titans camp. They've also talked a lot about rookie wide receiver Hank Beatty. And they called him a star through camp so far, along with Xavier Restrepo. That's a familiar name here, obviously, out of Miami. He's still running his 40, but he has had some really good positive things coming out of camp also. Defensive side of the ball, part of this is just we just mentioned Cam Ward was struggling. So a lot of the notes said the defense has been forcing a ton of turnovers. Corner Latrell McCutcheon, I think is how you say it, and safety Kevin Winston have been playing really well in that area, getting their hands on a lot of balls, a lot of PBUs, several interceptions, and things like that. So kind of the defense has felt like it's been dominating a lot of the camps until this week. But I think you would kind of expect that with Tennessee. And then the final notes coming out of the Tennessee Titans camp, Jeffrey Simmons, Alante Taylor, and John Franklin Myers have not been practicing or had been very limited to the side, but there doesn't seem to be much concern out of that. They're just easing these guys into the camps.
Yeah. I mean, look, their O-line was abysmal last year. Although Pollard had over 1,000 yards, they gave up like 55. I think Cam Ward got sacked 55 times. That doesn't count hits, hurries, all that kind of stuff. I think one of the X factors is Brian Dable. Can he get Cam Ward right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, it was Liam Cohen for us last year. He was part of that X factor. Can Liam get Trevor right? And he did. He fixed him. At least it seems.
The line, they got
added
three different free agents and then drafted two guys.
Yeah.
So
Dan Moore Jr.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to expect a lot of competition.
Yeah, it looks like their center will change at this point in time. They went and got a free agent, Austin Schlotterman, but then they also drafted Pat Coogan in the 6th round, and then they added a right guard in Cordell Volson, and then they added a blocking tight end also. So I think there's some of those things that they're definitely trying, but they're one of the teams that they had so much to fix, which we've dealt with that here in Jacksonville too. When you have 12 different holes to fill, not all of them are going to be as top tier. It kind of looks like they were like, let's get Cam Ward some wide receivers, let's add fix this running game a little bit and fix that defensive front and just hope you can put a ton of pressure on teams.
Us last year.
Yeah.
I mean, we went and got offensive linemen, but not like some
absolute
stud
stars.
left tackle that's
not
just
the
going to take
elite ones.
over.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, their receiving core looks good. Carnell Tate, like you said, Calvin Ridley, Wandale Robinson, Chim DK, who obviously played at Florida, Alec Iomanner, and then you mentioned Xavier Restrepo, who some people are not even sure he'll make the team, KJ Osborne. Like, on paper, that's at least a decent amount. You may not have a true number one unless that is Carnell Tate in a rookie season, which is asking a lot of him. But I don't know that they're going to be nearly as bad as they were last year. But I still don't see a team that's going to be contending for the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of still see them. They got I think next year they got to really invest in that O-line. And it's surprising because you got Cam Ward. I know the guy they got from Pittsburgh, Dan Moore Jr., I believe. He's I don't know. You ever heard of his name before? I'm only kidding. He's serviceable,
throughout
but it's not
free
like,
agency,
Yeah,
that's another. It's not any star.
Tackle.
Yeah.
Then you got to have that with your quarterback. I mean, especially when you draft him so high. So, but I would expect him in that 6 to 7 game winning type season, I think. I don't know. I think they'll be physical. I don't think they'll be an easy out. I don't mean that. But unless that, I mean, the QB's really, he's got to do what he did in the latter part of the year for the whole year. Kind of similar to around here. Isn't it funny? But he does. And he's a young guy. He's real young. He's got talent. There's no doubt about it. And he was looking good for a little while towards the end. But we'll see if Dable can get him right. And if he can, the O-line can hold up. And they got a little bit of a running game. Got some weapons. That defensive front's not going to be easy to block. So they're going to be a pretty tough front. So and that Cody Barton, their linebacker, is a really good linebacker.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
So him and, the kid they just grabbed, Anthony Hill Jr., should be a nice combo.
Well, and that's what I think that when it comes to them, their defensive front last year was already pretty good. You put Jeffrey Simmons on any line and it makes it decent. But when it came, they were like, bottom 10 when it came to rushing yards allowed. So they were good against the run. They didn't get a ton of sacks, but they were able to create pressures, which we talk about here too. Their back end is what struggled a lot. They allowed 30 passing touchdowns or something like that, and 67 completion percentage. So they clearly focused on that at times too. And we're like, okay, well, we're also going to get the pass rush because the pass rush is going to help hopefully those corners. But then they add some, a safety with Winston, and then they add Alante Taylor and some of those guys. And so I think their hope is, well, if our defense can keep teams from scoring 30 on us every game, Cam Ward doesn't have to be phenomenal. The offense can get a little better. And sometimes that's what you have to do when you're in the beginning of that rebuilding process. Because to your point, at the end of the year, the last 5 games, 2, 4, 6, 8 touchdowns and one pick in his final 6 games. So that is something that they have to be looking at that in a positive light. Here, you hope was a little fake.
Yeah, it's crazy that Simmons could get 11 sacks on that defense last year from the 3 technique, especially with the back end being so poor. That just shows you what kind of good he is. I know. You know what I mean? That's and who else you doubling on that line? I mean, they got rid of the big man, Sweat, right?
Sweat.
And Simmons was like, I don't know, we got rid of him. He helped me out a ton. I mean, he was taking care of 2 guys for him. But
and they don't have Arden Key anymore either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they lost Key.
Yeah,
they had 42 sacks, which is close to double of what the Jags had. But 11 of them being Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons, right. Yeah.
Yeah, Dramont Jones had 4.5, Jalen Harrell had 4.5, and then Arden Key had 4 last year. So definitely going to have to.
I think the AFC South is going to be a tough division. I mean, especially if Indy can do, something. Not playoff, but just maybe in that 8-9 area range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we could be a pretty tough out, as far as the division. Because last year, no one thought we had anything, right? Didn't think anybody.
No, they thought it was the Texans and then everybody else. No one even thought the Colts would start off, obviously.
No,
as
right.
Well as they did.
And then the Colts turned everybody on their head. And you're like, what? You get off to a great start, but I think it's going to be a tough division. It'll be fun.
Maybe. I shared this with Taylor, but I saw on NFL.com they had the 8 divisions. They ranked them by quarterback, and the AFC South was 7th out of 8. So they don't have high expectations for quarterbacks, at least as of now, but that could certainly change. By the way, North Carolina now 8-1. They're over.
They're crushing them.
Yeah. It's a super talented team, but 8-1, they're over West Virginia in Omaha. More to do on the other side, including the Golden Moment. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
It's the ultimate ride.
The fans have risen to their feet.
Sunday at Naval Base Coronado.
Lap traffic straight ahead.
Powered by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's voice of NASCAR, 1010 XL.
Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why we are North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. KeyBuickGMC.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
The Jacksonville Axemen host the Tampa Mayhem this Saturday at 7 at JU's The Rock Stadium. Axemen Rugby League. Full contact for 90 nonstop minutes. Info at jacksax.com. Proudly sponsored by PermitRockstar.com.
Coogan's Hickin here, and it's June. Yes, summertime. Not only are the kids out of school, but it also is Men's Health Awareness Month. Did you know the largest organ on your body is your skin? That's right. And with this summertime sunshine state heat, got to protect that skin, folks. It's more important than you think. I've been seeing my docs at Beaches Dermatology for years, and my skin thanks me for it. It doesn't take long, but it's a must. Book your appointment today, like right now, online at beachesdermatology.com.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at UNF and Bishop Snyder this summer, plus plenty of other sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
We were just talking about it a little bit off air. Eventually, the conversation about Sorsby will die down of what is going on. But I did see an interesting note on the McAfee show, actually. And so Pete Thamel was on there. He said, the vibe around the league that I've gotten is somebody is going to use a second rounder on Brendan Sorsby. They haven't set the date on the supplemental draft yet, but it's probably going to be about a month from today. So there's some. I also saw another note that 26 teams so far have called and showed interest in Brendan Sorsby and the pro day coming up.
Lauren, pro day is July 10th.
July 10th is his pro day.
So he better play well in the pro day.
I'm assuming he will.
That will depend. Like you've talked so much about, or we've all talked so much about the gambling and whatnot, how that could affect his future. The pro day, and granted, you're throwing on air. It should look good.
Yeah.
But if the pro day doesn't go well, then that will drastically, I think, change, even though it's just a few hours, but an hour or so, really. I still think that'll change.
Yeah, if he bombs it, it's not going to be good. But I wouldn't expect it to bomb. They're going to make him look as good as he possibly.
Oh yeah, from here until July 10th, he's going to have his quarterbacks coach and his receivers that he wants to throw to all working towards creating a perfect day.
I mean, I'm not shocked that some team would take a shot at him. I would be. Second round would be interesting.
Yeah, I would expect third or fourth, but again, if he has a great pro day and if he does really well in talking to teams, and
all it takes is one.
Right, I told y'all off the air that Scott Satterfield, the Cincinnati head coach, was his head coach. He's expecting a ton of calls. If he has glowing things to say about him, then if I'm an NFL exec, I'd be like, so did you know he was gambling?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Did
Like,
you have any idea?
Yeah, did you have? Yeah, because I mean, at this point in time, you're not going to get in trouble for it. So yeah,
I saw another funny thing tweet yesterday that it said, "Why didn't he just lie and say it was his interpreter?" Because when the show
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I saw that too. Like Sorsby needs an interpreter. Like it wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I didn't place the bets.
Then you need the fall guy. And I don't know. Sorsby clearly doesn't have a fall guy.
He
that's
does
for
not.
Sure.
Or his friends did not fall good and well enough.
Where do you think Sorsby, and it's too early because I know it changes, but today, where would he fall in next year's crop? Well, you got the kid in Oregon, you got Arch,
You got a
your
huge
guy
amount
if
of-
he comes
There's a
out.
lot of TBDs, I think,
three
and that's
right
the problem.
there.
But
I think he'd be after the top 10. And
Top
just-
10 QBs?
Yeah, in looking at the list earlier,
Okay.
I'll say in the top 10, but like towards the bottom of the top 10.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna because I saw a list like
Yeah.
they're bringing Sellers back on the list. Lenore's from South Carolina. Now, he was on the list last year to be a top
Right.
QB,
So if he
and
has a
then
great year, he'll be
So would
drafted
you have
high.
him behind him, Sorsby,
I
or right
would.
around there?
I would have him behind
How about
Sellers,
Mensa, the
but
kid
assuming
going
he
to
has a good
Miami?
year.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
don't
study
know.
the film of these guys, so I'm
right.
not the wrong person to ask. And we got to make golf picks, but I got to
We
make
gotta
golf.
make golf.
And we
But
have
that's what you're
a
battling.
business
That's
owner.
what
Yeah.
you're doing, right? So if you're going to say, okay, I'm going to give you a first or second rounder, that means you're not probably going to address
Super.
that next year. You're not that excited about next year's crop because they say the QB class is pretty deep next year.
Yeah, we went through it off air. It's amazing.
Whether that's real
yeah.
or not.
Yeah, and who knows? Like I said, I'm not a film
At
watcher.
this
It would
point in
take-
time, it is. We did this last year too, though.
Right.
That's
What would
what we
you
were
do?
kind of talking about it too. It was supposed to be Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik and Carson Beck and Lenoris at that point in time, and there was all of these guys that we were talking about, and we didn't. To me, I don't even know if CJ Carr is coming out. We don't know if Arch is coming out.
Yeah.
Lenoris would have to have a bounce back. I like Dante Moore, but
Yeah.
I think there's
DJ
still a lot of
Chambliss.
to be. I wouldn't put Lagway above him right now, personally.
No, I
I
wouldn't.
think
I don't
there's
think
a
I would
lot
either.
more that I would have to see from some of those.
Yeah.
But it could change. Next year, we could be like,
Yeah,
that was the
right.
best quarterback class we've seen in a decade,
That's
you know?
right.
Absolutely.
That's
And
right.
again, July 10th is the pro day, so we'll be following along. All right, so Tom, you get to go first, and I'll remind people how we do this. You're going to pick a golfer that's in the top 10 of the world golf rankings. Then you'll pick a golfer that's ranked 11th through 30th. I love it, RJ. And then pick a golfer that's ranked 31st and above, but it is a snake draft, so we will go in order of Tom, Taylor, and then me. So, Tom, you're on the clock. Are you going to go once again with the guy that you've gone with the
That
last
I've
couple
gone
times
with,
in Cameron Young?
Yeah, you know what? Let me make sure.
Let me make sure.
No, because I did a little research this morning.
I'm proud
I'm
of you.
going to I'm going to throw a dart. I'm going to go with Russell Henley for my first pick.
Russell Henley,
He's
okay.
number 5 in the world, at least the one I'm looking at on CBS Sports.
Yes, and Rob Bolton says about Russell Henley, he's the PGA Tour's leader in fairways hit and scrambling, and he'll have to show off those skills
That's
at
what you're going
Shinnecock
to need
Hills.
in Shinnecock.
He was tied for 25th there at Shinnecock in 2018. So once again, the U.S. Open was held at Shinnecock Hills
Okay.
back in
So I'm taking him.
2018. So
Make-
Tom McManus has Russell Henley with his first pick. Taylor, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go Fitzpatrick for my first pick.
All right. He's also in Rob Bolton's power rankings. He's second, by the way, and your guy, Russell Henley, in Rob Bolton's power rankings is 12th. The reason I reference those power rankings is because when I won my fantasy golf league, I
that's
constantly
right.
leaned on Rob Bolton, and so I'm going to mention him. So this is about Fitzpatrick, rallied for a runner-up at the RBC Canadian Open. We know that because he came in second to Bud Colley, our local guy, and he was tied for 12th there in 2018. So right now, Russell Henley and Matt Fitzpatrick off the board. I am going to go with Colin Morikawa. I think
the back man.
yeah, the back man is right.
Yeah.
I just think Colin is a guy, he's not in Rob Bolton's power rankings, but he's a guy that I feel like when the going gets tough, he is able to play really well. And it's going to take that like steady personality at this golf tournament because as we talked about, the wins are going to be insane. So I'm going to go there. And then that means back-to-back picks. And I'm going to go with Xander Schauffele. And I've picked him before.
Yeah, me
He's,
too.
I think had him at the Masters.
I think so,
if I
yeah.
remember correctly.
And it started great.
It did. It did. But Xander's a guy that he's 9 for 9 with 7 top 10s, a top 12, and a top 14 at Shinnecock. So I like Xander for this tournament. And that means, Taylor, it's back to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go Siwoo Kim for my second.
All right. I have nothing on Siwoo Kim.
Yeah, I more so just go to like, here's the top, because this is that 11 through 30 range, to some of the odds that have happened when he was one of the higher odds that were falling in that 11 to 30. So that's what I haven't ever picked him. So maybe he'll give me something.
30-year-old has just one top 10 among 5 top 15s in his 36 starts in the majors, but the Tee to Green machine is playing the best golf of his life this year with 4 podium finishes among 10 top 15s, 4th in bogey avoidance. Tom, you got 2 golfers now back to back.
I do?
You do.
Okay, so I got 11 through 30.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Ryan Gerard.
All right.
Ryan Gerard.
He's on my
Be
list.
number 2 for me. Another American.
Related to David.
Yeah, I did the same thing that you did. I think. Are you going all Americans in this?
No, I just happened to pick.
That's what I decided to go all American in this. All right, and then 31 and up.
31 and up. I'm going to go, let's see. I'm going to go Keegan Bradley.
Okay. So you are going all Americans.
U.S. Why not?
USA.
U.S. Open, U.S. players, it means something,
I like it. All right, Taylor, back to you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Sam Burns.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's a good one.
Yep. I have him 11 through 30.
And this is 30 and up.
31 and up.
got him at
31.
31 and up.
Okay, I'll
31 and up.
Oh, 'cause he's
at
30th?
30.
Yeah.
I got him at 30.
So I'll change. I'll do Maverick. I'll do Maverick McNeely. Yeah.
The only reason I knew that is because I had Sam Burns on my 11 to 30. All right, Maverick McNeely for you. By the way, I think I totally messed something up.
Oh,
I have them. If
No,
you
I
need.
didn't. Okay, we're good. All right, for my final one, I'm going to go Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark. He is a former U.S. Open
That was my
champion.
other choice.
Excellent. Yeah, he won in 2023. Rob Bolton says he arrives with the same torrid form that he was riding en route to that breakthrough in Los Angeles, also with a win and a solo third in recent starts. Confidence has returned with, again, reliable putting. So there we go.
Nice.
Outside of maybe a couple of Taylor selections, everybody else went with Americans.
Yeah. I mean, I got Henley, Gerard, and Bradley. Doesn't get more American than that.
Yeah.
These country club guys, they got funny names, don't they? Wyndham, Harris, Xander.
Yeah, none of us picked Harris English.
What happened to
noted
Bob,
Jaguars
Mike?
fan.
Bob and Mike.
Rob.
All right. Yeah. So Tom Henley, Gerard, and Bradley, Taylor, Fitzpatrick, Siwoo Kim, Maverick McNeely, and I've got Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and Wyndham Clark. We will wrap up the show on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels, Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Hey, I know how awful it feels to get injured out there, but never due to someone else's negligence like many of you. Tom McManus here. If this speaks to you directly, you got to check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. Why? Because all they do is win. Over $30 billion recovered for all of their clients, hundreds of thousands. And guess what? They don't get a single dime unless you do. A proven track record with a backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. You get injured due to someone's neglect, you get paid. Dial pound law on your cell or check out forthepeople.com.
Looking for ways to save on your JEA bill? We're on it. When it comes to your utilities, the less you use, the more you can save. That's why JEA offers ways to help you manage your usage and avoid higher than expected bills. Use our online tools to monitor your usage throughout the month. Schedule a free irrigation or energy efficiency assessment and get personalized tips to save. And with JEA rebates, you can save when upgrading to more efficient equipment. Find more ways to save at JEA.com.
Hey, poker players! The Poker Atlas Tour is coming to Best Bet St. Augustine, June 18th to the 28th. The Poker Atlas Tour features 7 events, including the $600 no-limit hold'em title event with a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool. And event number 1, a $300 no-limit hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. For more details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Hi, I'm Linda from Newburyport. I lost 20 pounds on Awaken 180. In my family, there's a history of type 2 diabetes. I've always carried more weight than I should. And my glucose levels had always been hovering at that pre-diabetic. My goal was to see if I can avoid becoming a diabetic after having been on the Awaken 180 program and getting the 20 pounds off. I am no longer pre-diabetic. And I am on a low dose high blood pressure medication. And in my last 2 physicals, my doctor has been sort of like, we may need to either cut back or we might even be able to at some point take me off. Awaken 180 is just one of those tools in my health toolkit. It's really easy.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. That's what this is really about. The numbers your doctor reads, not just the one on the scale. Linda changed hers with Awaken 180, medication free, and so did I. Yours could be next. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The Golf Club at Southampton is super excited for what's next, and that's brand new greens and plenty more to add to your golfing experience. While renovations are underway, you can still come out, hit the practice area, and keep your game sharp. Plus, Thursday night's trivia, always fun, and music on Friday nights on the patio. Check it all out at golfsouthampton.com or their Facebook page. Membership opportunities right now where you can take advantage of a great deal before the renovation is complete. Call 287-PLAY and check out the latest from the Golf Club at Southampton.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
One segment to go before we turn it over to the Frangie Show. And my goodness, Carolina is just pouring it on. I believe North Carolina is going to win this game, but we've seen crazier results at this point in time.
Yeah, they're in a good mode right now. They're hitting well. They're defending well, pitching well. They're pretty.
Yeah, West Virginia's had some errors. They're just not tracking balls well.
Yeah.
The one play on second, I was
he
just
threw him
a
off
lot
the
of
bag. It's like an easy double play, and he threw the guy right off the bag.
It's
and
nerves.
Didn't get anybody. Yeah.
And their backs are against the wall, so you start to press a little bit. We see that in other sports, but and I would imagine that Georgia beats Oklahoma tonight, but again, that's just my guess. North Carolina was one of the best teams all year long, one of the flagship teams really for the ACC.
And so is Georgia.
And Georgia, absolutely one of the flagship teams for the SEC. Now, the SEC had more teams make it, obviously, to the College World Series, but still, at this point in time, that's what I would expect, but we shall see. So last night in our house, when we only have the one TV, we have to choose between the World Cup and college baseball. What do you think we chose?
College
World
baseball.
Cup.
And that's an excellent answer from both of you because Brian wanted World Cup and I wanted college baseball.
Okay.
So we went back and forth.
Yeah.
We're not quite to the point where we're pulling Florida
Pulling
was
out
on, it'd be one
another
thing,
a
but-
laptop or something.
Yeah, we're not pulling the other TV in.
Yeah.
We have one in the kitchen that we can pull into the living room.
Yeah.
We don't have like a massive setup like the sports book in Vegas with multiple TVs.
that would
by
be
any
nice.
means. It would be very easy though.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I still only watch one game at the same, like focus in on one.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have the other one there. So in football season, we'll bring the other TV in so we can bounce back and
You
forth.
watch them both.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I'm not gonna tell you what we watched. My wife fell asleep anyway.
Non-sports is what I'm guessing.
It wasn't sports. No, I gave it a run.
Yeah, I watched the Weapons
Cheese
movie,
City.
actually. That's what I was watching.
What were you watching?
Weapons.
Weapons?
The movie Weapons,
Okay, yeah.
It was pretty wild, actually.
Yeah. I like Wild better than Rom-Com.
I wonder if Hayes Carline has watched Weapons, because it's definitely up his
He's
alley.
a weapon. This guy's a full-blown weapon. Look out.
You may as well throw to crosstalk. Let's talk to the weapon.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Hayes, you'll have to remind me, who did you pick for the United States Open?
I picked Rory.
Okay.
Frank has Xander.
Okay.
And JJ has Rahm.
Okay.
Okay.
And in their game, their Loser Monday, I should say, they can't pick the same golfer twice in the same season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You haven't picked Rory all year.
Actually, it's surprising. No one had.
Really?
Yeah. So they had both taken Scheffler. So I'm kind of holding. I had the first pick. So I was like, well, I'm not going to burn Scheffler when I'm picking first.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because I'll save that. And I mean, it probably won't end up mattering. But ideally, I'd use Scheffler when I have like the third pick.
Yeah.
Because I
Okay.
know they can't take him. So anyway.
Right.
But yeah, it should be fun. I can't wait to see how Shinnecock holds up. I'm expecting it to be brutal, but you can tell the USGA is very sensitive to what happened in 2018, to what happened in 2004. They've been adamant about, the greens. We're used to greens at major championships running like 14.
Right.
These are going to run at like 10, 10 and a half. So they're really trying to keep, because of how elevated some of these greens are, particularly like 3 and 11. They're going to water in between rounds, but they've been overly communicative of, this is what we do every day. Like, we water in the afternoon every day. We have to, or we could lose it. Yeah. And it's obviously they've had issues with it before. So it is going to be diabolical, but hopefully fair. And can't wait for it to start.
For people who don't remember, Brooks Koepka won in 2018 with a score of 1 over. So that's right up your alley.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, no, me too.
He likes the struggle.
Well, then you're in for a treat.
I feel more. I feel normal.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the players in the field, I think if you said even par, they'd probably all take it.
Yeah, for sure.
Would be my guess. I mean, maybe even 1 over. Was the winning score last time. So, certainly that would make some sense. But yeah, I'd be shocked if you see like the winner at like 4 under or better.
So in this, because they water the morning and then the afternoon, between like halfway through the round. So does that give those first golfers advantages in the afternoon if you're right after that watering?
I think it will. I think it helps if you're first out, and I think it helps if you're like first out in the afternoon wave. If you're kind of caught halfway in, then because it does dry out quick, particularly if the winds do get 25 miles or more. So honestly, I kind of think they never would say this, but you almost never see Rory and Scheffler on the same side of the day. It's almost always one's in the morning, one's in the afternoon. They're both going out early tomorrow. I think, and tomorrow's supposed to be the worst day for afternoon wind, so I think they kind of protected their stars a little bit here. But again, we'll see. It's unpredictable. It's Mother Nature. But yeah, I do think they have to water them in between, and it's something that they do all the time anyway. But certainly, there's going to be players that get to
or
it
at the
and it's
end
going to
of
be
that first watering.
It's going to be more dried out than it would have been. So really will be fascinating to watch. And then Saturday and Sunday they're starting so late so that they can really, because you don't have that halftime break where they can get in and water anything. So
it's just like the World Cup with the hydration.
3-minute waters.
Who would have thought? And it's weird at the U.S. They call it like syringing at the U.S. Open. So well, syringe the greens. Why don't you just say like water? Like why do I have to think of a needle going into a green? But anyway, we'll break all that down coming up on the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation this week, so Hacker kind enough to sit in with us again today. And Brett Hastings is going to join us for Sports and Courts right out of the gate at 4:15 to give us all his expertise on the Sorsby saga. What kind of led to him entering the supplemental draft? Would Sorsby have a legal case if the NFL were to suspend him? How that all works. So really interesting to get Brett's thoughts. So all that coming up on the Frangie Show.
All right, sounds good.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Hayes.
Awesome.
So yeah, when we talk to you tomorrow, the U.S. Open will be underway.
You got to come up with whoever loses. They got to do something. Like buy a food or happy hour or something.
I like
what do you think?
Yeah. We've
All right.
tried and we just never do the punishment.
Right. We gotta do, well, it won't be punishment. It'll just be we're going to go.
We
eat some
originally
food.
said we
lunch
didn't
or
wanna-
something, that's easy.
We originally
Yeah.
said we didn't want to spend extra money. That's what our original thing was. But now we're not
I'm getting
doing
you
the
guys a
other
McChicken.
Get some nuggets.
All right, that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Fran